Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be going through St Kilda's best 23 for the 2026 season, along with all their depth. If you haven't seen the series before, I've already done 4 clubs. This is the 5th. So if you can, please like and subscribe. You'll see plenty more content like this leading into the season. Okay, we got contract cliffs, age and experience, basically the depth and how the club was, how they've constructed their roster. All right, so we'll start off from the full back. We'll get straight into it. Let's go through St Kilda's best 23 leading into the 2026 season. All right, I'll get me in the corner here, get me out of the way, and we'll go through. We'll start off with full back. All right, so get the goal. There's a goal square. In the back pocket, in the full back, we're starting with Caminiti. Oh, I can't even speak. Anthony Caminiti played 23 games last year. He's pretty much cemented his spot in that back line. Here I've got his stats as well. He's averaging 12 touches a game, 6 marks, can play up forward as well. But when he did play back, he did have some elite stats. Don't really worry about that gold badge there for 95%. That's just a lot of key backs often spend most of the time on the ground. They don't bother hitting the bench. But 6.1 spoils is quite elite. Ranks him 12th in the league last year, and he's also ranked 12th in 1%ers. Okay, he did win 1.7 defensive one-on-one contests, and he's done some defensive half pressure acts, about 4 a game. Okay, so back pocket, I've gone Jack Silvani, recruit from Carlton, pick 53 of the 2015 national draft. He's had a little bit of turmoil in this off-season. His brother got caught putting his fingers where they shouldn't have been, but that shouldn't reflect on him. And basically, I think St Kilda fans can expect what Carlton got for him for the last few seasons. Very good player, can swing both ways, plays forward and back. Average 14 touches a game, 82.9% on ground. He can do 5.5 spoils a game, which ranks him in the top 50. These bronze badges is telling me that they're ranking in outside the top 20, but within the top 50 of the league. Silver badges is telling me within the top 20. Okay, so he wins 2.8 defensive one-on-one contests, which is even more than community. And yeah, I think he's going to be a great pickup for the Blues. One of the better pickups of the 2015 national draft. Obviously, that was a father-son pick, which was the Jacob Wiedering draft. But, yeah, they've still got another few years in him. He's contracted till 2030, so you guys have got him for another 5 years. Very good pickup, and I think it's going to be a pretty solid partnership down back, along with the rookie last year, the Flying Viking, Alex Toru. 10 games last year. He was about pick 10 from memory in the national. Oh, sorry, it's right in front of me. Pick 10, 2024 national draft. And he was an elite spoiler, already 21st within the league in his first year. And he also contributed with 5.91%ers of the game, per game, sorry. So here you can see it took him a while to get a game with that draft, but already proving his worth. Ashcroft's up the top there. He played a few extra finals. Okay, so that's your back line for St Kilda leading into the 2026 season. We'll move on to centre-half back, who I've got Callum Wilkie, All-Australian calibre player. He's picked up his All-Australian jersey in 2023. I think he's got a few more on the way. 191 centimetres, 29 years of age. He's contracted for another 4 years as well. Oh, 3 years, sorry. Actually, gold. Ranked number 1 in marks per game, 8.4. Will often be that settler for St Kilda in the back line. Okay. Wins his one-on-one contests. Just an elite player they've picked up in a rookie draft, which is a fantastic return. 2018 rookie, I dare say he'd be the best pick of that. Yeah, easily. So between him and Atkins of that 2018 rookie draft, St Kilda have done really, really well. Good return and good chance he could be named captain if he hasn't been already. I haven't checked that. Okay, we'll move on to half back flank. Gone Flanders, sexy Flanders from Gold Coast. Pick 11 in the 2019 national draft. He's not so much a defender, but more of a defensive midfielder. He'll be the fella that accumulates the ball. He had a bit of a down year at Gold Coast as he got pushed out of the midfield area. as Gold Coast younger guns started to come through. 18.7, he can bump that up quite considerably. He's been a mainstay in a lot of dream teams over the years. Very consistent. I think a great pickup for St Kilda, and he'll be relieving the main midfielders of time in the guts as well. So Sam Flanders, great pickup. Took him a while to start getting games, but you can see here he's now one of those established picks. This is also Gold Coast when they had Rowell and Anderson. Okay, other half back flank, Jack Sinclair, another All-Australian caliber player. He's picked up his in 2022 and 2023. So he had both these players in the 2023 All-Australian team. So Sinclair is 30 years of age. He's he's contracted at the end of next year, not just this year. Gold standard player. He's a top 5 in the league in kicks per game. Does his defensive half and picks up plenty of meters for St Kilda. 494.7 per game, which ranks him 16th in the league. Okay. Overall, very solid defensive 6. 2 All-Australians. Communities and Toru are starting to establish themselves. We'll have a look at the profile of this defensive lineup so far. So you've got 1 player under the 21-year bracket, and you got another 4 players in their prime years, which is between 22 and 29. And then you got 1 player over in the back 9, basically 30 plus, which is Sinclair, but he's still got another 2 years contracted at least. Okay. The same thing gets shown with the experience. Obviously, the older you are, the more games you've played. These two both played 150. One guy, Toru's played under 10. I think he's played 10 games exactly. And all these players are contracted for quite a while. The only player who needs to get signed this year is Community. Provided he does his job this year, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. 3 players have taken the top 10. These are various drafts. These are rookie drafts, Sinclair and Wilkie. Toru was a national draft top 10 player. Okay, 1 father-son, that was Silvani, and that applies to Carlton, doesn't apply it to St Kilda. Okay, let's get into the midfield. All right, so next up on the wing, I've gone Darcy Wilson, pick 18 in the 23 national draft, 41 games. He's out of contract at the end of this year. Does his job. He's improving every year. I don't see any reason for there not to be a contract extension coming his way this year. No real elite traits just yet as far as how the rest of the league goes, but that will come. He did have a game last year where he kicked 5 goals from the wing, which was pretty impressive. Obviously, he wasn't playing wing; he was playing deeper forward. But when you've got someone who can pin shit up front, it's pretty handy. The other wing, Bradley Hill. Obviously been in the league quite a while now. Pick 33 in the 2011 national draft, so 14 years ago. He's contracted to the end of next year, 2027. One of the better picks from that draft, if not the best pick. You can see here, 277 games, which is not far off the league leader, which is Lachie Neale. Only 11 players left out of that draft. He was initially taken by Hawthorn, I believe. We'll have a look at that. Yeah, so he started his career in Hawthorn, had a bit of a stint in Freo before finding his way to St Kilda. But yeah, obviously an elite kick. He'll link all the lines up. 2 good wingmen there. We'll get into the engine room now. De Koning, he's a high-profile recruit from Carlton. Obviously paid him a lot of money. He'll be starting ruckman, pushing Marshall potentially off the field at times. 26 years of age. He's contracted for forever. 2033, probably one of the longest tenured contracts in the league at this point. His advanced stats, he's got a good percentage of hit-out percentage, puts him in the top 31 of the league. Very agile, 100 games into his career, well and truly established. It just depends on how well he meshes with the new St Kilda engine room that he's going to be working with. Speaking of which, we'll move on to that. Wanganeen-Milera, Probably a top 2, top 3 player in the league at this point, depending on where you rank him among him and Bont and Dacos. Everyone always remembers that game against Melbourne last year. Somehow didn't get the 3 votes. As you can see, gold traits throughout. Pick 11 of the national draft, 2021. You could argue best value out of that draft. That was obviously an elite draft with Dacos playing 95 games. St Kilda have already got 86 games out of Wanganeen-Milera, and you've also got Sam Darcy, who's had a few injuries along the way, and Horn Francis. Okay, it's an absolute elite draft, possibly the second best draft ever after the 2001 draft. But yeah, St Kilda absolutely got a steal and a half in Wanganeen-Milera. Going to be all Australian going forward for the next 3-4 years, you would think. Not much is going to slow him down. De Koning and Wanganeen-Milera, great start for St Kilda midfield. Next, got Windhager. He plays the tagging role. He can get the ball himself when he wants to, depending on how Ross the boss wants to use him. Pick 47 in the national draft. He's just signed on last year, put an extension through to 2029. Another fantastic pickup for St Kilda. As you can see, he's gone right at the back of that same draft that they got Naz in. All these players picked below him, lower down on the y-axis. They obviously each team hasn't got quite the return that St Kilda have got out of Windhager, which is a great pickup. And then McRae, perennial ball winner. I believe he's an All-Australian. He was. He's got 3 of them already, 2019, 2020, 2021. Came in from the Bulldogs. On the tail end of his career. He's aged 31. He's only contracted for another 2 years. He's got this season and next. Averaged 25 touches a game. Naz was averaging nearly 30, 29.9. Windhager picks up his 22. So you got, what's that, a good 30, 50, nearly 80 touches between the 3 of them. Very good ball winning ability. De Koning's going to get them the ball and can also act as that 4th midfielder for St Kilda. So they should be very, very strong in the centre bounce effectively. McRae takes 2 centre clearances a game. Naz, whereas his centre clearances, I haven't got that. 3.1 clearances. Doesn't quite give me the centre clearance stat here. And 0.8 for Windhager. Windhager is more or less focusing on the opposition's best midfielder at this point, so it's not really his job. It'd be more McRae and Naz to get the centre clearance. For Saints going forward, now we'll have a quick look at how their current team is looking. We've got the defence and the midfield. Okay, so age profile, you got 2 players under 21. That's Toru and Wilson. They'll be here for St Kilda for another 10 years. And we got 7 players in their prime. We've got Flanders, Camedy, Naz, Windhager in the younger end of the prime years, 22 to 25. And you got Silvani, Wilkie, De Koning. These guys are going to be at least, they're going to be at St Kilda for at least another, 4 years, you would think. Take them through to age 32, 33. And then a couple of old boys, or 3 old boys, that they're going to need to start looking at replacing soon. But for this season, I've got them as still in the best 23. Okay, the only players they really need to extend this season are Wilson and Community. These other 5 players, they're contracted for a bit longer. This is going to be when Tassie get into the league. So, as you can see, most of these guys are the old boys, apart from Toru and Naz. They're going to be... You're going to have to pony up to keep them away from Tassie's clutches, I think. Only 4 top 10 picks. Sinclair and Wilkie were rookie drafts, Toru and McRae national drafts. McRae taken pick 6 in the national draft, one of the better picks. There's only 12 players remaining from that draft. What was that, 13 years ago? Whitfield, Stringer, Ollie Wines. Yeah, so McRae's obviously a great pickup from that. They've all played roughly the same games. They've just been established in the best 22 or 23 that entire period. Let's get into Saints forward line. All right. Only 1 academy player, which was Windhager. That must be why you guys got him so late. in that draft. Now, Max King. This is a bit iffy because he's already had another injury issue. Didn't play at all last year. So all of his stats are blank. Can't really give you much info, but we know what we're getting with him at the point. He's like a tall, lanky, marking key forward. Will more than likely be coming out of the goal square. I've got him as centre half forward in this particular lineup, but you could obviously play him a bit deeper, somewhere up here with a second tall and have him on the lead. Okay. Next one, we've got Matei Filippo, 44 games in. Also didn't get many games out of him last season. Has got good upside when he wants to play. But really, they need to get some continuity out of him. Pick 10 in the 2022 national draft. Doesn't turn the ball over according to these stats. 12.8 per 100 possessions, which is quite good. Obviously, it's a very small sample size I'm working with 7 games. He's contracted for another 3 years. He'll be out of contract at the end of 2028. Other half forward flank here, Maxwell, absolute revelation this past season. Certainly established himself in the best 23. He'll be there for some time, contracted for another 2 years. 15.3 possessions, averages a goal a game. Does everything you want for a half forward flank. 11.3 rating points. Nearly a tackle a game inside the inside 50. Might want to bump that up. You want to get a few of these. Filippo averages 1 tackle inside the forward 50. You probably want to bump them up, put a bit of pressure on the opposition backline. But overall, pretty good forward line so far. Full forward, I've gone Rowan Marshall. So he is St Kilda's de facto ruckman last few years. I've pushed him out a little bit. He's still on the field, but I think De Koning will be the starting ruckman. Marshall's shown a bit when he does go forward. He can stretch the opposition ruckman, and basically, if you have Marshall and King playing out of the goal square, that's going to be a tough matchup for anyone, I think. So that's the kind of set out I would expect Ross the Boss to kind of play. King, obviously, a leading forward, leading out to the 50, and then for a set shot, Marshall will be keeping him honest in the goal square. All right, forward pocket, Higgins. He'd obviously come in from Richmond once upon a time, recovered from his head injury now. Elite player, pick 17, 2017 national draft, averages 2 goals a game, which ranks him 18th in the league. It's quite exceptional for a not a key forward player. He's obviously a small forward, only 178 centimetres. Kicked 46 goals last year, and he's quite elite in tackles inside 50. That's what I was saying with Hall and Filippo. You want to be averaging what Higgins is, 1.3 a game. Okay, he also gets 1.5 marks inside the forward 50, which is quite good for someone his size. I'll bring up St Kilda's makeup as far as their height profile. Higgins is the only player under 180 centimetres. Everyone else is in that standard AFL footballer bracket of 180 to 2 metre tall, and you've got one player above 2 metres, which is De Koning. Marshall is as well. For some reason, that's not populating. I'll have to fix that. And other forward pocket, Liam Ryan. So, new recruit. I'm a West Coast supporter and was not happy to see him go. I think he's still got a lot of juice left in the tank. Obviously, the Eagles makeup didn't really let him shine how he can with how we're going at the moment. But between Higgins, Ryan, Hall, and Filippo, you got plenty of agility, plenty of marking power, and plenty of tackle and chase. I think this forward line is going to be quite. This whole 18 is quite a strong outfit. There's no reason why they shouldn't make the 8, in my opinion, with this starting lineup. You can see I've put together how they've actually made the roster. A few recruits along the journey, but a lot of these players in Kilda have drafted themselves. You can see here probably, 50%, nearly a 50-50 split. We'll have a look at the makeup. You got one player playing less than 10 games, 4 players over 150 games, and 3 just creeping up on the 150 game bracket. 2 players are out of contract this year. That's Kennedy and Wilson. You've got De Koning forever, signed until 2033. Who else is at 2031? Ned Flanders. He's going to be there a while. So all your new recruits, they're locked in for quite a while. Ryan, he's age 29, taking him to 28, so that takes him out to 32. I think he might be just about out of juice around then, but he's gonna blend well with this forward line makeup. Okay, next we'll go into the bench, 5 starting bench. We don't have a sub this year, so first bench off the wood, Mason Wood, coming in from North back in the day, pick 41. He's 32. This is good chance this could be his last season. He still offers a marking target in that half forward range, 5.9 marks a game. So he can just relieve that pressure for all the midfielders that are going to be under the pump, gives them an option to hit up. And he's 1.2 marks on the lead, which is in the top 50, top 22 in the league actually, and 1.5 marks in the game. So can play just a good marking target, especially if King's going to be out for a lot of the season. We don't know how bad that injury is just yet. Might be playing round 1. I might be getting ahead of myself here. Mitchell Owens, again, another academy player, taking pick 33, the 2020 national draft. When he's on and playing, can be a very good player. Next one is Hugo Garcia, 17 games last season. He's a good tackler, 5.5 tackles a game. Will provide that pressure that St Kilda need on the opposition. 67 time on ground. You'd think that would start bumping up now that we don't have a sub. So a lot of his stats could get bumped up a fair bit, 15.7 possessions per game. I've gone Hunter Clark, a bit of a defensive midfielder kind of player. Again, not too much time on ground. He only played 13 games for the season. An early draft pick for St Kilda in the 2017 national draft. He's entering these prime years at age 26, so he should be able to improve on last year's numbers, I would think. One of the more underperforming picks of that early part of the 2017 national draft. This was the Brayshaw Cam Rayner draft. Okay. And then the final player in the starting 23 for St Kilda for the 2026 season, I've gone with Toby Travalia, the other early draft pick that went with the Flying Viking, Toru, in last year's draft. 12 games from him last year. He's got not too many clangers, which is good, 9.8 per 100 possessions. Probably wants to bump these defensive numbers up if he wants to see more game time. It's going to be tough with those type of numbers kicking any of these bottom 6 out. But obviously a lot of upside. Saints have got a lot of hope for him, so they're going to try and get as many games into him as they can. Now we'll go through the list makeup and compare it to the rest of the league. Okay, so as for the full 23, these guys, as of last year's numbers, averaged 340 touches a game compared to league average of 344. Now, remember, Max King is registering zeros for this team. So you could say that they're pretty much on par with the league average. Same with the goals, 11.3 as opposed to 12.3. Max King will average more than a goal a game quite comfortably. So you'd think they're going to be one of the higher scoring teams, although we know what Ross the Boss is like at this point. He prefers a defensive-minded game plan rather than a high-scoring one. But with these type of players in the forward line, it might be worth him having a look at picking, start changing his mindset a little bit. Now, marks, tackles, 52.4, a little on the lower side, which is why Hall and Filippo bumping these inside 50 tackle numbers up would serve them pretty well. 84.6 marks per game, which is about league average, 85.3. 2 hitouts per game. I think that's a numbers issue there. 27.3 for Marshall last year, so I don't know why we've got 2. I'll have to check that out. And 37.0 clearances a game. That is about league average, 1.8 per player. So not too bad. They've got a good clearance game. They've got a good forward line. I think this team should be probably maybe just miss the top 4, but should definitely make the top 8 if they can all stay healthy. Most of these players played upwards of 15 games for the season, King being the obvious exception. Toru Travalia obviously came into the team a little later, but that's the 18. The 23 I'm rolling with. We'll move on to the depth now. Actually, I should go into the contract cliff. Only 2 players out of contract this year, 9 the following year. Naz is obviously always going to be the focus, and you've got your longer tenured players, Flanders, Garcia, and De Koning. 17 players have taken in the national draft. These are obviously the best kids at the time. 3 players fell through to the rookie draft, and an SSP player in Kennedy. 1 father-son, which was Silvani. That was a Carlton. It's not really relevant to St Kilda. And 2 academy players in Owens and Winhager. As for your athletic profile, 187 centimetres versus the league average of 188, so roughly the same. Higgins is going to bring that down, being 178 centimetres. The lion's share of your list falls in the typical AFL footballer size of 180 to 189, which makes up 52% of your list. The league average is 44. Okay, only 1 player above 200 centimetres, which again, Marshall's stats don't seem to be updating properly. It's actually 2. Marshall was 201 centimetres as well, which is about the league average. Okay, now we'll go into the bench. I've got Boxall, rookie last year, played 11 games. Will be a great wing replacement. Can play a little bit forward, but I think his role long term is as a winger. Liam Henry, pick 9 of the national draft, didn't get much game time. We'll be pushing for a spot with Ryan or Higgins should they go down. Not too many goals, 2 goals last season. Yeah, they want to get a bit more of a return from him. Lance Collard, another small forward. Okay. Now, next, got the primary list, Category A rookies and Category B rookies. I'm going to order these in basically the way I think that they're, as far as how safe their job is. So, Charlie Banfield, was really disappointed with West Coast not holding on to him. Great pickup for St Kilda. Midfielder, tall midfielder who can play forward. 192 centimetres, coming from the West Coast Academy, son of Drew Banfield, West Coast legend. Kai Fincher, St Kilda Academy player, 186 centimetre rookie. Alex Dodson, last year's rookie, he's a tall ruckman, 203 centimetres. Only got 1 game of him, but I think should either De Koning or Marshall go down, he'll be next man up. Liam Stocker, pick 19 in the national draft. He's played 84 games, pretty established. You could probably really put him in the as a bench player instead of Henry. Next, I've got Paddy Dow, pick 3 national draft. Hasn't quite lived up to the hype. He was highly touted at the time. As you can see here, one of the busts of that particular draft. This is, again, the Brayshaw Cam Rayner draft. Most players around that top 10 have played around 170 games, where you can see Paddy Dow's only managed to get 83 out of it. The only other bust out of that would be Caulfield, 64, and Callum Jones for North. Okay. Dougal Howard, 138 games, also pretty established, got some elite traits, 6.3 marks per game, and wins defensive contests, wins about 2 defensive contests. So should Toru and Travalia maybe not pan out, Dougal Howard could find his way onto the field. Daniel Butler, again, constantly injured. This guy shows a bit, another small forward. I think he's, because of his age and where he sits on the roster, I think he's going to be finding it hard to get games. I think Collard and Henry will be the next man up for Ross the Boss before he gets a look in. Ryan Burns, 80 games in, pretty established player, 17 touches a game. So you got a bit of depth here for St Kilda. All these guys could easily step in at any point. I just feel that these 23 they got the inside lane to get some game time. Okay. Jack Carroll, he's only played 24 games, played 3 games last year. And Angus Hastie got 9 games out of him last year, 14 games in his career. Okay, Category A rookies. So these are players that are taken in they're either Category B sign-on or a rookie draft. Patrick Sard went pick 5 in this year's rookie draft. 19 years old. O'Connell. So these guys are all young as well. Got to keep in mind. Cooper Sharman, 70. He showed a bit, Sharman, in the forward line last year. I think King and Marshall would be the preferred options up forward, and I think Mason would kind of be preferred as well from Ross the Boss before Sharman gets a gig. So he's relying on a few injuries again, I think. So Barrett, I've left that CA4 there. That's basically, you've got one left roster spot that I can find. The players after that are also players that should be really in the primary list because they've been taken in the national draft. You can see here, pick 32 of the national draft, and Keeler also pick 44 in the national draft. I don't believe them to be Category A rookie listed players because they've got taken in the national draft. Okay, and then your final two Category B rookies, Eamon Armstrong, out of contract this year. He's been signed this year. And Kobe McDonald, a rookie from this year as well. Okay, so that's the full lineup for St Kilda. You got one roster spot left for a sign-on player. That's the depth. I want to show you where you sit with the depth now. Okay, let's get rid of the best 23 filter. So as far as your depth goes, 478 players disposals amongst this group. The league average is 461, so you got a lot more depth than other clubs. Same with goals. As you can see, you've caught up against the league average when we start filling out these extra depth players. So injuries are not going to affect St Kilda as much as some other teams, which would you'd call them top heavy really. Once their starting 23 player goes down, the quality of the replacements or the experience of that replacement is not going to be up there. They're going to lose a considerable more amount than St Kilda would. 15 players under the 21 year age bracket. As you can see, most of them haven't quite found their way into the starting 23 just yet. Filippo, Wilson, Garcia, Travali and Toru being the exceptions. These guys here in their prime footy years. So Stocker, Burns, Carroll would want to start finding their way into the best 23 pretty soon. Otherwise, they could be potentially without a contract. Same with these three here. These guys are even older, so it's even more desperate. I think Butler's really up against it with all the small forwards ahead of him. And you've only got 5 players on the older side. All these 5 players are still there on the starting lineup. Okay, these are the players that need to get re-signed. As you can see, all these bench players, they're going to need to train the house down. Ross and the Ross and the assistant coaches will assess them and find out who they want to offer an additional contract to this year. But all these guys are playing for contracts. A ton of the main core signed on for next year. These rookies will get every opportunity to prove themselves. They're the earliest picks that St Kilda took this year. These guys, they're going to be given a bit of time, but Burns obviously has played a bit of games already. Saints have got 13 top 10 picks. These guys all went various picks. This doesn't capture if it's national draft or rookie draft. It just clumps it into one. Okay. But as you can see, they have taken a lot of high-end talent. These guys fall into the 11 to pick 30 bracket, and 10 players taken in the rookie or SSP kind of pathway, mid-season rookie draft. Okay. Now, here we go. I can show you the national draft players there. So there's the 33 out of the 43 taken in national drafts. 6 rookies, Category B rookies, and an SSP selection. You got 3 academy players in Windhager, Owens, and Fincher. 1 father-son, which was for Carlton. 188.7 centimetres against the league average of 188.8 centimetres. So no difference at all. You got 4 players over 200 centimetres. Dodson, Marshall, King, and De Koning. League average is 4.9, so maybe 1 short. Should one of these guys get injured, Dodson should be the next man up, especially if it's... You don't really see King play ruck too often. If it's either of these two or both, Dodson will definitely be getting a game. Okay, so that's where we're at with the St Kilda list makeup. We'll compare you guys to AFL-wide statistics. Okay, so as for your whole list, you got the 6th youngest list, 8th most games played, not as many players in the prime age, which is 23 to 28, 5 players under 20 and 3 players over 30. As for your best 23 that I've named, you're the 11th oldest, which is more on the younger side. Collingwood being the oldest, the youngest being, who have we got? I thought it would be West Coast. It's probably Richmond. No, it's not. Can't find it. Oh, North. North being the youngest. Okay. Contracts. St Kilda have got 2 guys out of contract in 2026, which is pretty much on the less side. As far as your best 23, you got your starting 23 locked down, which is good. But if you bump it up, they've actually got not too many contracts out of people out of contract this year. Your talent mix, St Kilda, the 10th tallest team as far as the squad goes, 7th tallest team is starting as far as the starting 23 goes. You got 3 over 200 centimeters. That was actually 4. Oh, no, it wasn't. Dodson was out of the best 23, sorry. Okay, what else can I show you? And your pathway boost. St Kilda have obviously been one of the more vocal teams about getting rid of the academy. They have got 3 academy players of their own. Obviously not as much as Gold Coast and Sydney, but that is in your best 23. So that's basically what I've got for you. I've got just general random stats. If you guys want to have a look at this app, please become a member and subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, support the channel. I can try and pump more of this content out for you guys. Also, if you wanted to have a play around with the app, I've got a rolling All-Australian selector. This has got obviously last year's All-Australian team here. State of origin as well. I've populated each team, who they've named so far. There's a Dream Team selector, which I think people will find pretty handy. I've got some advanced analysis, which can give you, each team's what Bailey Smith might average against Gold Coast. Similar to if you wanted to choose him as a captain, who he performs well against compared to this year. Just a few little tools for you guys to play around with. Basically get your these are your free agents for the year. We'll go to St Kilda. Only Liam Stocker being a free agent this year, so they're all sorted. These guys are out of contract. Yeah, that's all I got for you today. Just hopefully a quick one. I don't know how long this one's gone out for. But yeah, if you could like and subscribe, let me know where I went wrong. If you guys could post your best St Kilda 23 in the comments, that would be great. And yeah, have a Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, all the best. Cheers, guys. Thanks. Bye.